Okay, here's a video to help you figure out your cutoffs when you're doing a mean bootstrapping. So with the recalibration, right now you can see that the mean we assume to be true for the hypothesis test, and then the mean from our sample, they are 2 apart. Okay, so 2 inches apart. And we need to shift our data onto the hypothesis test. So I know I'm going to shift everything this way, right? And everything's symmetric. So when I shift this over 2, notice this new tail, when I move it over, is going to be at 20. So I'm going to move, let me see if I can go to blue here. I'm going to move this blue guy and I'm going to shift him this way. So this new blue guy is going to be shifted or calibrated to be right there. Okay, so it's going to have this mean from the hypothesis testing. We know that this tail is now going to be at 20 and the distance is 2. So this tail over here is going to be at 16 when I set my dividers. Okay. All right. Let me erase this and then let's go the other direction. And again, if it's one-tailed, you only need to know one of those numbers. So not a big deal. All right. So let's do the same thing. All right. We're going to turn it around. Okay. So say over here is our hypothesis testing. So say mu is what, 120? Sorry, I have to use my mouse, so this is not beautiful. And then say our sample has a mean of 100. Okay. And again, this could be to the left, to the right. It could be a two-tailed test. You know, these could be labeled maybe money. I don't know, something like that. All right, here we go. So we need to shift this guy over here so we can do the hypothesis test, right? Because this is where my H naught, we have the default that the true mean is at $120. Okay, that's a difference of 20. All right. And so I am going to have to add 20 to everything because this time I'm going to the right. Okay, so when I do that, then, you know, you can kind of see where things are going to be at. So if I'm over here, let me I'll just do a blue on top here. So I'm going to shift that orange over here. So when I do that, this guy, this 100, is going to be my tail on that side. And then I have a distance of 20 and then another distance of 20. This is going to be at 140. So that's kind of how you can figure out where your dividers go. Okay. I'm going to hop on Statcrunch here for a second just to remind you how to compute stuff like that. So you either add or subtract because you're shifting. All right, give me a second. I'm going to pause here. All right, this is similar to the lab we did in class. So notice I have the feet, the home runs went, and I found the mean of my data, which is higher than, say, what the population mean is. So I subtract, and that's a difference of 10.7149. 29 or whatever. So I'm going to go to compute an expression, and I should have renamed mine, but I didn't. So I'm going to pick variable 1, add column, and I want to do what? Okay, so let me go over here. I need to shift it backwards in this case if the mean for the null hypothesis is lower, mine is higher. So where am I at? So I'm going to do this. I'm going to shift it to the left because my sample is too high. So 10.71429. And again, do that weird thing that was in the lab to make my math lab happy. All right, and then we're going to compute. Oh, it came over here. Not sure why. All right. So now what I can do is find the mean of this and make sure it's what I want. So just to catch any errors. All right. And that matches what I want. Okay. So now I'm ready to do the bootstrapping and then figure out where my markers are going to go.